be open and to be loving and to be caring. Well, love is it, isn't it? Love is the irresistible force. It's the thing that all people want either to heal from or to be part of. Everything else is just like window dressing trying to get there. Some people try to get to love through money. Some try to get to love through achievement. Some try to get to love through dominance. Some try to get to love through fear, but that like never, ever, ever works. And so love is that part of the higher self that stays constant as we go forward, whether we're alive or we're crossing over or we're going into another lifetime. All the personality traits and all the minutiae about existence fade away when we are in that love space. And I think, like, you know, for those of us, and I think most people have at one time, been in love with somebody. And when you look at that other person and you're not thinking, your hair color's brown, your eyes are blue, your shoulders are 14 inches apart, or whatever it is, you're thinking, I love you. I love the you that is not part of the physical form. I love the essence of what I feel when I'm with you, the sharing of our higher selves. I think if I could answer what is love, I would have won the philosopher's sweepstakes, because I think that question is still being answered by all of us by being alive. Well, I think they're one. They're the same thing. Being high of spirit, being spiritual, is being loving. It's acknowledging that nature and acting from that nature. The higher self is the part that's not attached to earth, ego, or intellect. So the higher self sees things as they actually are, not through a judgment. And so a way to maybe understand that is, you know, the parents are downstairs and the daughter comes down, walking down the staircase, getting ready to go to the prom. And as she's coming down the stairs to go to the prom, she has on a black skirt and a nose ring and purple hair. And she comes down the steps and she says, Mom and Dad, what do you think? Now they could look at her and go in judgment, ego, intellect, right? And say, what the hell are you going to the prom like that for? What are you, stupid? No one dresses like that for the prom. You go upstairs and change that right away. But those are arbitrary choices based on societal factors that are indeed arbitrary. There is no universal standard for beauty or dress or clothes. However, if they were to answer that question through their higher self, through love, they might say something like, darling, you are the most beautiful young woman I've ever laid my eyes on. I don't know if this is the right clothes to wear to a prom, because I think they have like sort of a dress code-ish sort of thing. But let's talk about that, because you're already radiant. Now there's a question based in love, not judgment. Maybe the daughter might say, you know what? This is a goth prom I'm going to. And then she's a perfect match, I don't know. But the idea is to step out of ego, intellect, and judgment and the minutia of earthly attachments. When you do that, you're acting from a higher place, your higher self, and indeed from your loving higher self. You know, there was even in the news, there was this child prodigy who was playing the violin at like 3 years old. And when they interviewed this child, the child said, I chose my mommy when I was sitting up on the cloud and watching her before I was born. And you know, that could just be a childhood fantasy, I agree. However, I think it's fascinating, the idea that our energy can be present and we can choose our life entry and experience and choose the circle of people we're going to have life experience with. That is actually what I believe. I don't think it's random. I think we still have freedom of choice. I think we still are self-determined. And I think we choose the experience. And in this way, now someone could say, and rightly so, Okay, my childhood, I was raped and physically abused. I would not have chosen that. And I would say, I totally understand that viewpoint, absolutely. However, I will say, I believe that when we're on the other side and we're surrounded with love energy, that we're at peace, where we have this grand perspective of life and the earth school and our role in the universe, choosing a difficult path can seem exciting. It's like, you know, I had that easy path, I had that rich path where I owned like everything, and I had that other path where I was beautiful, but you know, I've never had a handicapped lifetime. You know, I would like to experience what it's like to have that kind of lifetime. And then we set up our life premise to be incarnated. Now, once we're incarnated, we're self-determined. We still have choice over our destiny. However, we've chosen the way the dice rolls for our incarnation according to what we want to learn in this lifetime. If we learn it, we're no longer stuck in it. We get to transcend it. And that's the beauty of it. When I was a child, I was very fat, and so I was exposed to a side of humanity that wasn't necessarily nice to fat young men. And so I developed a lot of hurt feelings, actually, in interacting in the world. I can tell you to the point where I was walking down the mall, and there were two teenage girls walking behind me, making pig noises as they were following me and laughing. And so, you know, one could say I had every excuse to develop terrible people skills and be bitter and angry and assaultive because I was exposed to such negativity for many years growing up. However, I had a wonderful grandmother. I have a wonderful mother. I have had wonderful fathers. And those people helped shape my feelings, my opinions of the world, and how I choose to interact with it. Once I realized what was happening psychic with me, I made friendships and relationships with what I will call master psychic teachers, like Ken and Mary Brown up in Chico. A spirit can be a ghost, someone who's crossed over but still attached to the earth plane for some reason. It appears as though the energy exchange between the nerve cells in the brain may actually be quantum energy, not mundane electrical energy, which is what most of our body runs on. I believe we don't have a soulmate, we have soulmates. There's more than one lid for our jar in this lifetime. Well, an entity can be, I think, anything that has consciousness but exists as energy. Well, because I think in the ethereal plane, animals are very conscious. They're very in the now. They do not have a big concept of past or future. They are very sensitive. Most animals see auras and energy all the time. And for me, it works the same way. It really kind of is, they pull pictures from my life and experience that I can relate to. And then I know I'm supposed to interpret those for the person I'm reading for. They don't always give me complete information. I'd love it if they did. God, it would make it so much easier.